Hi!
Welcome back to Books, Tea and Biscuits, and this is video number 4? 5?
Think so.
5.
5, yeah, 5.
And in this video we are going to review Hidden Bodies, which is by Kepnes, which is book number 2 in the series You. And we're also going to do a mini review of Pilgrim by James Deegan, because obviously life has happened and we haven't got very far, as you can see. Joe has read more than I have, so Joe will be talking more on this one than me. I've read only one chapter. Joe's read how many? 9?
9.
But we will, as she's read similar books before, she's going to give an insight into how she feels so far. And also, we've had a production meeting, so I've got a big book here, a notebook of some notes that we're going to discuss later, and we're going to do a mini interview with myself, aren't we?
We are.
So, starting from Hidden Bodies.
Yeah.
Wow, what can I say about this one? From chapter 1 to chapter 26, I feel it's really slow going, and I'm waiting for him to find Amy and for something to happen. And then from 26 to I think about chapter 55, all the good stuff just happens all at once, I seem to find.
Yeah.
When Joe falls in love with Love, and he eventually comes clean to what he's done, and then she forgives him, and then he actually finds Amy, I think in chapter 53 or 54.
But don't give it away.
And like nothing happens, and then chapter 55 and 56 is quite boring and disappointing. It's not as good as You, I feel, and she could have done better in regards to how slow going the book is. How do you feel, Joe? What's your opinion on it?
I definitely feel let down, because You was really good. It was on the go all the time. You thought, this is really brilliant. You got excited. It was edge of the seat stuff, and then literally the ending let you down. You'll have to forgive Mum, she's not well. Yeah. Now this one, Hidden Bodies, has, as Kim has stated, is very, very slow going, and then it speeds up with all the excitement you would want. You've got all sorts happening, not just love, but drugs and all the usual sex and rock and roll and all this malarkey.
And Taco Bell.
And Taco Bell, yeah. So it is really a good read from 26 to, I thought 54, really, maybe half of 55. Because he finally gets caught by the police, but I'm not going to say any more about that. You've got, I always kept thinking, when he finds Amy, you're going to find out that she's been having a fling with Love. Love is his girlfriend. I know it's a silly name, but her parents are hippie-ish. So that it just thinks, oh, it's getting better and better now, and it started getting on the edge of the seat stuff, didn't it? And you're thinking, brilliant, and I didn't want to put it down, and then I wish I had. I wish that once I'd read chapter 26 all the way up to 54, I thought, no, I'm not going to read anymore, because from 55 to 56 is a waste of my time and my energy. And I'm really, really sorry and disappointed and annoyed.
So, having said that, how many stars out of 5 do you give it?
Well, I try to be fair, and I'm actually only going to give the stars from chapter 26 to 54, and that's 1.5.
I'm going to be fair as well. I know it was slow going. I'm going to give it 2.5 stars out of 5. I have also read the Goodreads reviews on this, and it's got about 3.5 stars. Honestly, I've read worse books than this, but I've also read a lot better books than this. It's not in the bottom of my estimations, but I thought the start let me down, because it was so long where something happened. I was I can read, and I can read books for breakfast, but I was only wanting to read one chapter a day because I was just bored, and I felt like nothing happened and then 26 onwards it just hit you like a ton of bricks. And then you didn't want to put it down, and because I was having to read it in my lunch break at work and people were coming up to me, I couldn't read it as quickly as I wanted to. But 2.5 stars from me, and again that's just because it was a slow start. If it was more fast paced and a page turner and a not put downer, it would probably get more like 3.5, which is what the good read rating is. So yeah, that's my review on that. And you're finished with your review, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Got anything else to say?
The
cover's really good though.
The covers. I think she let herself down with this. I think really, you get the impression that it's like she probably had difficulty writing it. You know, when they get writer's block and stuff like that. So could have been
foreshadowing. Right, on to Once a Pilgrim, and I'm going to let Jo kick off with this one.
Okay, Once a Pilgrim by James Deegan, who I mentioned before is ex-SAS. He is that. And I've read loads and loads of these books because the guys in the regiment, 22 Reg or whichever Reg they're with, but ex-SAS guys tend to write books. And they always say write about what you know. So these guys know all about war and fighting and security work because that's what they end up doing. You know, protecting security work, protecting the Queen or whatever. And this book, it starts off where I think he's in the Middle East. And they're obviously in a war zone because I think it might be the Gulf War they're in. And obviously what's happening is this leading up to when he leaves 22 Reg. The person involved is a gentleman named John Carr. He's had a long distinguished career. And you read a couple of chapters, then you go into part 2 of the book, very strange. Part 2 of the book is when the commanding officer first meets John in Ireland and all that entails. And then when that's finished, basically the story starts. So you have to have a bit of a past, a bit of a current and a bit of a past before he goes into security work. And that's when the story really starts because he ends up, I believe, working for a Russian security, or he's involved in Russia and ends up in the Middle East again. It's a lot of them have these where they end up back fighting because they're either being set up or they're having to spy or they're doing the job that they know best. I don't want to give too much away because, to be honest with you, I have actually read the last chapter. I shouldn't have, but because when I was reading this, I thought this is similar to other books I've read. So I wonder if the ending would be the same, and it's not.
Is that the one that's about 5 lines long?
Yeah, the chapters vary. You can get through this book because you might start off in 17 pages for one chapter and 6 pages for another chapter and 1 page for another chapter and half a page for another chapter. So the chapters are all over the place. So you can actually finish this book, I think, in maybe a week if life doesn't
get in the way.
Like us. Yeah. It is a good read.
It is.
I'm on chapter 9 and I really can't wait to get into the other bits because it is a good read. He is slightly different from Chris Ryan and Andy McNabb, but he's somewhere in between. So you've got to, you can't sort of just read a book. And I'm sure he's read loads of books because you have to. If you're going to write a book, you've got to read the books. And I think he's got the best of Andy and the best of Chris and put it together. And it's James Deegan. So I would actually recommend this book.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to get my teeth into it. Like properly.
It is meaty. It is meaty. There is a scene in it where a grenade goes off, and the actual description of that, you can see everything. You can visualise that action. You can visualise being there. You really can.
Stuff like that like saying like you can visualise being there, that upsets me. I know I'll probably start crying during this book if I can see stuff like that.
You might do, but then again, you might think, you know, and find a way round not crying. I mean, there's been other books, hasn't there, where we've sort of not quite finished them because you've got to read 10 books to read the book. And there's been bombs and stuff in that.
Yeah.
What is good about this is you also see the bond that there is between these guys, how they really count on each other, and obviously at some point throughout the story he's meeting all his old mates from the regiment and how they all interact, and obviously he gets them in on an operation. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this. And I would say nothing against Andy McNab and Chris Ryan, because they are both very, very good at what they do, and both very, very nice men, I believe. I met Chris Ryan once. He signed a book for me. That was very nice of him.
So I don't think we can give it a star rating yet.
Not a proper star rating, but on what I've read so far, if it carries on, I would probably give it a 4.
Okay, well, as I've said, I've only read chapter 1, so I can't even mention anything like that yet. But we will keep you updated on our Instagram page, on our Facebook page, and on our blog, which I will put the links down the bottom in the description. Also, like and subscribe. Anything else you want to add, Jo?
If you want to ask us any questions or ask us to review a book or whatever, just put it in the comments, which is underneath.
Or DM us on the Facebook page and Instagram page.
Yeah, any of that. If you want to have a chat, anytime.
Okay. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, we look forward to doing the next video because we've got some interesting questions to ask me. Anyway, so Bob, look at our little cats.
Yes, look.
And let me show you
Cats in space. I've got to give them a shout out.
Look at our biscuit jar.
Yeah, paws off. So I've got to give a shout out to Cats in Space. Brilliant band. They've got a new lead singer, Damien, very nice man, very, very nice man, who was in War of the Worlds for Jeff Wayne. He played the part of Parson Nathaniel for anybody who's interested in War of the Worlds. And I know I'm going off track here, but I just wanted to give a shout out to Cats in Space because they're a good band and they need lots and lots and lots of fans.
And so do we. Anyway, guys, you've been great. So talk to you soon. Bye from us.
Bye.
Bye.